I'm more known as Doc Biggs. So, to give you an overview, ang Biggles, or Biggs, is a famous English book which was quite familiar when I was born during the late 80s. So, it's actually a British book, and he's actually a pilot. So, I don't know sa dami-dami ng pangalan yung binigay ng nanay ko sa akin. So, that's my nickname, that's Biggles or Biggs, so Doc Biggs. So, to give you an overview, I love business so much. I am actually the first Filipino and youngest graduate of the University of Liverpool Management School all the way from the United Kingdom to finish my doctorate in business ed. So, I finished my doctorate from the UK at the age of 30. I was also the youngest graduate from Ateneo, Reggie's MBA double program at the age of 23 years old. So aside from that, I also did my postmaster's degree from London Business School. I was also the first Filipino and youngest one to finish it at the age of 26. I love a business so much to the point that I always share this knowledge to all of our employees. We have 15,000 employees in the Philippines. And I also act as a professor at De La Salle University, Ramon del Rosario College of Business. For the past 34 years since I was born, feel ko talaga ang passion ko is really to share my knowledge and expertise on business. And for me, business is not just about profit. It's not just about revenue. It's also about sharing that with others. That's why my mission as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, as a business doctor, is to give more trabaho sa bawat one. For that campaign in my mission, nakapagbigay kami ng mahigit kumulang 16 to 18,000 jobs all over the Philippines. And that job, hindi ka lang actually tumutulong sa taong nabibigyan mo ng trabaho, but rather, yung mga pamilya na umaasa din doon sa taong nabigyan mo ng trabaho. That mission enabled me to be different. I always believe that doing business is not always per profit. Profit will come as a result of what you love doing. And for me, success is not just about yourself. Success is when you involve everyone else as you move forward in your path, in your career, or perhaps in your personal life. And because of that mission of doing business, which I love the most, I was given the opportunity to share a lot of these thoughts and knowledge even in media. I had a company which is one of the companies I manage as a businessman, which is the Bamboo Sunglasses, which me myself together with the team created an idea that we should not just create a product in itself. What we should do is actually create a product that is a story that will benefit not just your team, but also the environment. So what we did, sa bawat sunglasses na nabibenta natin, nagtatanim tayo ng isang puno. We work that with Haribon Foundation, and we are one of the very few organizations that does that. Going back to the company, about the employees, coming from a family business, it's Masa, so it's really actually a below-the-line ad agency. We work with the biggest brand, so the more I get to know, I am more known in the industry as Doc Biggs, the more clients are getting me. It will not just benefit me, but the more I get more clients, the more we get more projects, the more we give trabaho sa bawat one. It reciprocates that avenue that you always put others first before yourself. So, we did a lot of amazing accomplishments, and those accomplishments will always be for the people and for the one. That's why this year our campaign, and even me myself was the one who launched that everyone matters. Because when everyone matters, everyone will be part of your success story. Now, today on our press conference, I wanted to put value on me as myself, Doc Biggs, being the next forefront leader and perhaps someone who can give and share his story, his success story, so that we can also replicate him to be someone else's. At the end of the day, the role of leaders is to create more leaders and not to create more followers. Ang problema kasi sa atin sa Pilipinas, the more na mas maraming sumusunod sa atin dahil takot sa'yo, the more na mas okay. But I don't believe that. I always believe that for us to do more things in life, we need to replicate ourselves so that you can be the best version of yourselves, eventually helping them achieve and become successful at the end of the day. So yun, it's a very straightforward overview of what I do. But I hope that the media partners I invited this afternoon had a glimpse or had an overview about what I wanted to do, what I wanted to share, and what I envision as well, not just for myself, but for those who can be like me in the near future. Maraming salamat po. Well, yes, you have to adjust the way you speak when you're in the UK. I was in the UK balik for 6 years. That was from 2014 to 2020 when I was doing my doctorate. And bilang nag-iisang Pinoy, and being the youngest in the cohort, you have to really blend in and adjust to the culture. We always have a saying that you do what, when you are in Rome, you do what Romans do. Because if you will not do that, it will be very difficult for you to eventually adjust and work with your fellow peers. It's not being overacting, but sometimes we Filipino are used to American English. So adapting to a British English is quite challenging but exciting as well. Thank you. The UK system, leading from my experience, is different. First, by culture. The second one is how they think. They are more liberated. They are more open-minded. And number three, they always want to go outside of the box. Now, if you will ask me what are the things that I did, that I have incorporated in all of the businesses I had, which our employees or family now experience, we consider them as extended families. I don't treat them as my employees. That's why yung mga empleyado namin, they stay with us 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, someone even stayed for 22 years since we created the company. Now, the first thing I did was to always empower them to be part of a bigger picture and letting them be part of your decision-making process. The more na nararamdaman ng tao mo that they are important because you involve them in making decisions, hindi dahil ikaw ang owner at kapitalista ng negosyo at ikaw lang ang masusunod, the more they feel valued. That's number one. Number two, we have to always listen for feedbacks. Most traditional family business, ako ang may hawak ng pera, ako ang nangapilista, ako ang masusunod. Based on research, the more that way gumagawa tayo ng decision, the more na magsasara ang negosyo. What we did, why did we became consistently number one for the past 5 years? Because we always ask for feedbacks. Because from these feedbacks, we grow, we learn, we improve, and we can eventually motivate everyone to be still part of your company. Last but not the least, number three is, you have to be open-minded. Being grown in the Philippines, I was born in the Philippines, raised up in the Philippines, studied as well in the Philippines. I know that being open-minded is one of the most challenging tasks that we have to do. Most importantly, if you are not open for change. Remember, in lifestyle, change is inevitable. And that's the only thing that remains to be constant. So, let me go back. We have to be open-minded. Let's ask for feedbacks. And let's engage and involve everyone in decision making. Thank you.
How do you handle failure? How do you handle failure?
For me, failure is part of life. It will always be. However, these failures should not be the cause. Hindi dapat siya maging sanhi ng demotivation mo, of being lost in the track where you want to go. Let's always consider, it may be easy to say, like what I'm going to say to everyone now. that failure must be part of your motivation to succeed. However, hindi kasi lahat will look failure that perspective. Kahit sabihin mo pa sa isang tao who always fail, and someone telling him, and that person telling him is always succeeding, that failure is part of life, it's not always to be that case. Now, if you will ask me, I don't want to give, let us say, recommendations to those who always fail. But at least what we can do is we have to motivate them, give them some light and direction that they can still achieve and they can be who they want to be and no one can stop them. Sometimes, in the culture of the Philippines, kung sino pa yung expect natin who will help us to achieve, those are the people who will not help us. In fact, in business, in my business, I was expecting more important people who will help me, who will I become right now aside from my family. But I was wrong. The first person who helped me outside of my family were strangers. And these strangers helped me to realize that failure should make you stronger and make you a better person along the way. Thank you.
Pero ano yung pinaka-challenging yung pinagdaanan sa buhay niyo?
No one believed in me. No one. When you are about to start and you wanted to prove something, you will always be an outcast. Because you haven't achieved anything else. Or yet. I think that's the right word. But once you move forward in your life, you realize that it's not about proving. It's about doing. Kasi the more you keep on proving, the more that people will always just ignore you. But when you start doing, and that doing results to what you love doing, because at the end of the day, action speaks louder than words. That is where, how you handle your failures.
Pero ano yung unang ginagawa niyo pagkagising niyo?
Pagising ko is I sign into the sign of the cross. I always put everything to God. And after that, you have to continue what you love doing, not because you just need to do it.
Madali ba kayo magalit? Or how do you handle mga anger management?
Anger management, ang ganda ng tanong mo. Ako, kahit marami akong tao, as much as gusto kong magalit, iisipin ko tao din yan nagkakamali. Pero there are points or certain cases that you have to manage your patience. It's not unlimited. So at the end of the day, meron yung tinatawag na situational leader. You can be easy to get angry with, or you can still manage, but you have to adjust. So it depends on the situation. But if you will ask me, do you get angry right on the spot or immediately? No. At ayoko ng awa.
Do you believe in micromanagement more or a combination?
That's a very good question. Micromanagement will only happen as a result of your assessment if your team is performing or not. Example, nakita ko yung tao ko, magaling. He or she can do the things that he or she needs to do. Without even me telling, micromanagement should not be done at all costs. What you can do is just coach. However, macromanagement will happen if the company is already good to go and you have already empowered yourselves and you have already replicated yourself to be like you so that they can already do it on their own. So micromanagement will only happen if there is a need. But ideally, if your team is performing, ibig sabihin may willingness yan, may ability yan, then macromanagement should be the picture.